I'd like to bring to order, if you would, people, the June 9th meeting of the Finance Personnel Committee of the Bellingham City Council. We have one item before us today. It is an ordinance establishing a biennial budget for the City of Bellingham beginning January of 2015 for the 2015-2016 budget biennium. The city has actually been talking at the mayor's recommendation about biennial budgeting for a while, but to formally implement this, there's some certain steps we need to take. Here before us is our Finance Director, Mr. Brian Henshaw. Brian?
Thank you, Michael. Brian Henshaw, Finance Department, but the mayor is going to speak first. You're up.
Oh, just as by way of introduction, we're talking about the biennial budget amendment, and just to refresh our memories, we have just gone through this process in the last 2 years, and I want to thank the council for making that commitment because it has made it so much easier for staff to focus on their work plans in the second year of the biennium. The council always has a prerogative to change the budget, to make additions or reductions anytime during the biennium, but for managing programs, a biennial budget is much easier, saves a lot of time, and makes sure that we're getting done the things that the council has asked us to do. So I just wanted to preface my the presentation with those remarks, and again, thank the council for their support in the last 2 years.
Thanks, Kelly. Mr. Henshaw?
Yeah. So as the mayor just stated, basically she first proposed this back in 2012, and because of the legislative requirements of adopting it formally by council by June 30th and also in an odd year, it took us to the January 2015 implementation to make that a formal adoption, which was what we're here to do today. But in 2013, we did adopt adopted budget in 2013 with a corresponding 2014 spending plan, and as the mayor just said, we implemented as a trial basis, and that's the same format that we'll be doing. It's 2 one-year budgets, but we'll be doing them both simultaneously in the 2015-2016 biennial budget. I think the mayor and staff were both pleased with the results. Departments had a longer time horizon that they actually were planning for, and it saved time in addressing just the major changes in between the years. We didn't have to go back and recreate the entire budget process. We just focused on the major changes from one year to the next. So in today's budget packet, on page 119 is a memo that outlines some of the history, pros and cons of the biennial budget. The state legislature recognized the time involved to develop budgets and adopted the RCWs in 1985 that allowed for a biennial budget. And on page 119 is basically the process that we foresee happening in the 2015 and then in between in the 2016 year. I just want to point out that there still will be a mid-biennial review. There's still public hearings. There'll still be an ordinance that will bring forward the changes, and they could be additions or subtractions to the adopted budget. And as the mayor said, we can also modify the budget in any time with council approval and votes. So if there's any questions on the memo, I'm here to answer those, but otherwise the ordinance there will formally adopt a biennial budget for the January 2015-2016 City of Bellingham budget, and it outlines the process there in section 3. And I would ask that you vote for approval of that today.
Okay, thank you. I forgot to mention that normally sitting on the committee with me are council members Gene Knutson and Terry Borneman. Gene will be late today, so council member Kathy Lehman has graciously agreed to step in. Committee members? Terry.
I would move approval.
Okay. Second. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion from committee or other council members? I just want to make a brief comment. I actually think our budgeting process still stands room for improvement in sort of the tools and information available to council members to make our decisions. But I think that's entirely separate from biennial budgeting. Biennial budgeting, I think, hopefully will be a large step forward and a great time saver. And so I have no problem with supporting this ordinance at this time. All those in favor for the recommending this ordinance tonight, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And opposed? Okay, we'll bring that forth through unanimous recommendation tonight, but first a comment from Kelly. Mayor Kelly.
I really appreciate your comments, Michael, and it would be helpful for myself and staff to understand what those shortcomings are because I don't know. So that would be good.
There's no further business. We will briefly adjourn. We'll